Hi, so today I'm going to tell you how to create a report using all the unique properties that we have here. Now, this presentation will basically go through all the properties that we have, and I've also created one table called customer. I just created it right now. Just went to my SQL bench, workbench, and created a customer with four, five columns, the ID, the name, order, title, and active. I just created a couple just to show you how to create reports using some of the properties. And I've added a couple of values and I've left some of the fields blank over here. This is on purpose to show that even if the fields are blank, what it will display and how we can eliminate null in there. So let's get started. Now, this report was generating the list of all the cities, and suppose I want to also see in the same report list of cities and customers. Let's say customers. List of cities and customers. Okay, and I just have one detail band over here. In order to display all the customer details, I need to create another detail band. You understand now why I need a detail band. If I need to have all the rows, I need to put it in detail band, and here I just have one detail band. So in order to display all the rows of customer details, I need to create another detail band. So let's go ahead and actually you can just right click over here and say add another detail band. So now you got detail 2. Okay, I'm just for a quick reference, I'm going to copy all this and I'm going to paste it over here. As easy as that. Okay. Oh, I think I messed it up. Let me undo it. Now you can copy all the columns over here. Actually, I forgot to mention one thing. If you have one report, you can only have one query in that. Okay, so you already have a query to select the city which is ordered by name, and now you have to, if you want another report, then you have to go ahead and create a new report because you cannot have the same query in there. Let's go here, create another report and finish, and let's just put couple of, let's copy it from here to make it easy. And I am taking, this is one, this is two, it just gets on top of each other, but because we have a color differentiation, we can probably fix it easy faster. And we have the customer name, that sounds okay. Let's put the order number. These are just static fields, okay? The column headers. And instead of population, let's say whether they are type, what is the type of customer? Title, whether it is their new customer or most valued customer. Okay, so and here we need to map the fields. If you go here and click over here, you will not see any fields over here, right? This is the fields. None of the fields will come up over here. Why? Because you've not written the query. Now let's go ahead and write the query first. Okay, I'm just going to go here and copy this. I'm going to put it over here. As soon as I put it, I get all the fields retrieved over here. Name, ID, order, title. Click OK. And now you just click on this stuff and go to text field expression and the name. Yep, name without double click. Order number, you go here, go to the properties tab, text field expression, and order number and title. You go here, you just remove here, and this is your title. Okay, now let's just quickly run it to see whether it runs well. Let me quickly copy this title. Okay, we are all set to go. Let's run it and see what do we get. Okay, now I set this report and I left it blank just to show you that it shows null values. Okay, it looks really bad if you get null values in the report. Rather, blank is a better option. So let's go back and fix this. This is where properties come into play. Okay, now let's fix this by going to select that particular text and go to the property where it says blank when null. Okay, and just check this. And what do you get? It just becomes blank when it's null. I need to close this before it gets generated. Okay, yeah. So this is how you fix it. So this is where properties are useful. Now let's go over the properties and find out what are the things that are useful. Now, if you click on report, just the name of the report, this report name, you can just edit whatever you want. Cities customer report. Okay, that's the name of the report, and that's the name of the. So when you let me show you how does it matter. Actually, it doesn't matter. You can just put any name. Okay, this is it just makes it good to see it. Okay, so you have the report, customer report. Okay, that's the name, and then page width and page height. That's the A4 size. Okay, these are in pixel and you can modify it. And orientation, you have two options. Either you can put it portrait or you can put landscape. That's up to you. Okay. And left margin 20, 20, 20. These margins that you see, these are the margins. Let's just remove all of them. I just want to show you what it is to. All these margins. So we've got rid of all the margins. Okay. And then columns, just leave the column. Print order vertical or horizontal. Now, if we want to get into that, I want to show you something else before we get into that. I'm going to report, previous report, the city report. Let me just rename it. City report. Report. Now here, now as you recall that we put this stuff, that is the total count of the world. Okay, that's we have the population of the city, and if we add up just all the city population of all the cities, we just get the population of the world. Now, if I put this particular population right on top, okay, suppose I want this to be uh, right on top, like my manager, when he looks at the report, he wants to see total world population on top. Total world population as of today. Okay, and he wants to see this number. What is it? What is the world population? And then maybe after that he wants to have a look at where is the highest in each city and all that analysis. Now when I run this report, as you will notice, no value will be generated for this variable. Okay, let's run it and let me show you why that happens. Let me close any PDF report that I have. Preview, it's a PDF preview. See, the value that you're getting is null over here. Now you want to check why it's coming as null. It's coming as null because now when Jasper prints this report, it's going to when it's over here to print it, it doesn't know what are the values that will be getting printed right below it. Okay, so you should make sure that this particular variable or this particular value, this particular total, it gets evaluated right at the end, meaning once all the population has been displayed, after that it has the Jasper has the capability to calculate what are the values, and then it sums up this value and puts it at the end. So this evaluation should happen right at the end. So in order to fix that, what we have to do is, when we are designing this particular variable, there is a variable called expression value, sorry, evaluation time. You see, right now it's now. The evaluation time is now, but you should make it report. So that means only at the end, or only at the report level it will get evaluated. Now let's take a preview and see what happens. See, you got a total over here. It's just generating a PDF right here. So this is the total, and when my manager looks at it, the total world population as of today, he will just have this particular value, and then he can look, okay, for the city, what is the valuation for each, and this is the value for Albag. This is all ascending order. Okay, so you got to know how important the evaluation is. Okay, let's scroll down to other properties. Okay, why I want to tell you about print order. Now, print order is vertical. In our case, it's vertical as the report is getting printed on top to down. Now, suppose you have, suppose in report 3 you have variables which are coming over here, and then the population something over here. Okay. And suppose you had to add a country code and population and display some value over here, something like that, something weird. Okay, country code and population, and just add up over here. At that time you can put as print order is what, horizontal. If you want, you can put it horizontal, but it just depends on certain scenarios why you want the print order to be horizontal. If a lot of values are getting evaluated right at the end over here in a horizontal manner, then it makes sense to have the print order as horizontal. Okay, so you should be open to know that there is something called print order, and it comes handy once in a while, but it's good to remember that there is something. If you're not getting values for your variables or for your expressions or for something that needs to be evaluated, these are the key things that you should look for, whether your evaluation time is correct. Okay. Okay, so let's come down to what else we have. When resource type missing, type null. That's just, you can ignore that. Query text, this is the same as what the query is over here. This is just the same as what you have over here. This is just a shortcut icon for that. The language for SQL, this is just what you set up over here when you're setting up the database. That's here you set it up as MySQL, right? Whatever driver it is, it will just take up. Then properties. Properties, you can set certain properties for your report. Now, I think I will have to look up some scenario that I will take in a while. Okay, now if you want title on a new page, you can just check this. Depending upon certain requirements, it might so happen that you have to have title on a new page. You can check this. If your summary needs to be on a new page, you can check this. Okay, so it will just break. So it will just break before, even before the summary gets displayed. It will just come up in the new report. So these are just some of the options: title on a new page, summary with page header and footer. So we already have that. We have the page header and footer. So these are just certain things that you need to. When no data, okay, when no data, no pages. You also have, if you want to set up something like for no data, you want to customize it, there is a band called no data. Okay, just click on that, right click on that and do add band, and once you do that, you have this no data appear over here. In that case, what you can do is just display some message which is customized for your report. Okay, so let's put, and you can write something like, sorry, no data found. So you don't want to just send a blank message. You want, sorry, not a blank page. Instead, you want to have some message displayed. So you can have something like this. And let's do this. Let's just put some color on it, make it opaque. And back color is, let's put some green. Okay, sorry, no data found. And this will get displayed only in case you don't have any data. So you need to write, let us find a scenario wherein there is no data, um, in where city equal to percent. I hope there is nothing like that. I'm just putting some value. Oh, it doesn't like the query. I need to figure out how to put a where clause. Okay, it takes where one, where name equal, okay, name equal to, let's put Ted. How does that sound? Okay, now let's try to run a report. Hopefully there is no city called Ted, and so it will display the no data section, and let's see if it comes up. Actually, it might not come up because you had to do, yeah, you had to do one more thing. See, it didn't come up in the, this is how it comes up if you don't set it up properly. Okay, now not only do you have to create your no data section, you have to also tell Jasper that in case you don't have any data, please display the no data found. For that, go to your main report, just click right on top. Okay, you have to be very careful. These are the bands. You don't have to go into bands. This is at the highest level. Click on the report and come down, and you have when no data. It's right now set to no pages. That's why it displayed no pages. You have to select no data section, and now you're all set to go. So let's run it now. Let's do the preview. See, sorry, no data found. So there wasn't any data that matched our query. Our query mentioned about Ted, city name Ted, and it didn't find one, so it displayed like that. Okay, so pretty much I think we've covered all the properties of the report. Okay, so this is just about the report. The report has these many properties, and you have the properties expression that I will talk about later when I touch how to handle PDF and Word, or what are the specific properties that go into PDF and Word. If you just want to take a look at it, you just have to do add and these are the predefined properties that are set for see export PDF, tag table, PDF language. So you, yes. So let's say this custom element property, you want this report. Whenever there is a text, you want to wrap it. Okay, so by default, it is set to false. And if you click on this property, it comes over here and you set it to true. So any word that comes up that is too long, it will just get wrapped. Now I take a preview. I think we didn't remove that condition of city TED, so it says no data found. Let's close it and and the query we have to, here is where we have to modify. Just remove this clause and let it display the entire data. Okay, do you know why this came up so many times? Because I placed it in the detail band. So if you put anything in the detail band, when the band gets repeated for these values, anything that is present in that detail band will get repeated. So good that I put it. You can see what happens when you mess up with the bands. Okay, so if there was any word which was like way longer, it would have wrapped it if you just set that property text wrap, and so it will just wrap the property. So there's nothing much in this. Similarly, these properties are just for the report as a whole. For each of these bands, you have properties. Okay, so there's nothing for style properties, for parameters, nothing, and report context, report parameter. These are different parameters that are useful for integration. And for fields, you have name, ID. So these are the properties for the fields, ID, name. You usually don't mess with these because these come directly from the database and there is no reason why you should need those. Only for variables, don't forget these are very handy whenever you have to do some manipulation like add variables or uh, take a count of the number of rows and all that stuff. You have to create variables, and whenever you create variables, you have to go into their properties, click on whichever class it is. If it is manipulation, it has to be some integer or decimal or whatever it is, and then calculation, whether it is a sum or you're taking a count. Okay, all that stuff. Now let's take a count actually. How many cities are there? Okay, total world population as of today, and let's take a count. I want you to just get a little more handy on the variable because variables are really, really handy. Total number of cities. Total number of cities in this report. Now, we have some variables which are preset by this report. It is the page number, the column number, the report count, the page count, and the column count. Okay, so if you just use this column count, that sounds pretty reasonable. Okay, it will give you the list, the columns, like how many cities are there. Definitely, as the number of city grows, the detail band also just keep displaying each row. So let's see what we get if we just display the column count. You go over here, select the properties, text field expression, click on the variables and you have the column count. Let's take a preview. It says 0. You know why it says 0? Because the evaluation time must be now. We did a mistake, right? Only once it displays all this should it display the number of cities in this report. So we need to fix the display time. So it's not the expression that's creating the problem, it's the variable which is being used. So you have to use the report count variable. Okay, just click on here and use the text field expression and use the report count. I'm just showing it to you. I just had it over here right now. Report count. And you click on save and just preview it. Let's see. Now, see, you've got the total number of cities. So that's 4081. So similarly, you can just explore all the properties that you have. And these are like for even for text field, you will have a set of property. For other cross tab or HTML or frame, you have other set of properties. So I think pretty much you have to be very careful of the evaluation time, and you'll be all good. If you are using this static text, you will have some extra properties like uh, whether you need left indent. All these are like styling stuff. So if you do left indent 40, you will have a whole lot of space over here, and you can just style it. Okay, so let's do a left indent for all these. Left indent, usually 2 is the standard, so it just makes it neater. Okay. Remove line when blank, print in first whole band, print when detail overflows. So if you have if the text is smaller and you just have a whole lot of information, like this, if you just display it like this, right now if you preview, it will not get displayed. But if you do print when detail overflows, it will still just display it, extend it. You don't want to do this for static text because you know how much the text is, but for dynamic text, like in this case, you don't know what the name of the city would be or how long it will be. So even if it's like too not even if it's too long, if you set the properties right, it will just wrap the text and show correctly. All right, so I think that's about it. And we will look into a more complex report, one last report, and a little bit complex, because I want to talk about there's another very important band called a group, and which is really handy. And when you go at organizations and you're doing reporting, then grouping is one that comes in really handy. And we will also look at some of the reports or the components that are over here. But most importantly, we'll just do a complex report and just try using group and different types of calculations to or analysis to be performed in the report. Okay, bye.